Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a project that I am working on called Nucleus. So far, that's the working title I'm going with for now. And I've got a few announcements to make after I show you it. And they sort of pertain to the project. So, without further ado, let's get going and do this. So this is it right now. It is a monogame GUI system that I'm working on, sort of. It's actually a virtual Unix-like operating environment. Now, what the hell do I mean by that? Because I don't actually mean an operating system. I don't mean that. The best way to explain this is, you know those Visual Basic OS concepts you see around? They look like operating systems, but they're not actually operating systems. They're just Visual Basic programs that are styled to look like operating systems, and they're entirely self-contained and stuff like that. Well, this is basically that, except written in C# and .NET Core and monogame, with a custom user interface system, and I'm going to be using it as sort of a game engine. And a game engine for what? Well, that's the announcement that I'm going to make at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. So right now the features are very limited, that there's just some text on the screen and a list box, and that's basically it. I can press F11 to toggle full screen, and now I can zoom in right now with my mouse. So this is basically a test user interface. It tells you what the project is and what this GUI is for. And then over here there's this list view which you can actually click on and change the item that's selected. You can also do it with the keyboard too. Page up and page down work as well, and that's cool. There's a list box. So that works. Another thing you can do is you can hit the tilde key and you actually get a developer console. Now you can't do anything with the dev console right now, but you can enter text in and it actually gets registered. So it's sort of like it's sort of like the Unreal Engine dev console, kind of. Not really. It sort of looks the same, but you can also, probably shouldn't have bound it to F11, but, yeah, you'll notice that the game keeps going into, or the UI keeps going into full screen mode along with the dev console, but you can actually use F11 to switch between having the console in full screen or just half height. So that's cool. That's very handy. That's basically it. There's a few more GUI elements that I can tell you guys, but yeah, that's basically it. So let's switch over to Visual Studio here, and I'll show you guys around the actual code. No, close out of the actual game. Keep calling it a game. It's not a game. It's a demo. So basically, the way this works is codenamed Project Latticer. Please ignore that. But how this works is it is of course a basic monogame program. Nothing special there. The UI is built on a concept of screens. Now, screens is a fairly common concept when it comes to games, especially 2D ones. Basically what they are is, well, they're like windows, but they take up the entire, they're inside the game window and take up the entire game screen. That's why they're called screens. And screens in this demo, they are basically glorified GUI controls. So they have the same sort of, they're basically based on this. They're content controls that take up the entire screen, and usually they are the root GUI element. You can have multiple screens on the screen at once, but only the topmost screen ends up getting input events. That's how it works. Controls are built on a container-based system. You'll notice that right out of the bat we have two control types. We have a content control and a layout control, and in most cases everything derives from one of these. If the control supports having a child GUI element in it. A content control can only have one GUI element, a layout control can have multiple. An example of a layout control would be back panel. All this is a list of GUI elements that are presented either vertically or horizontally, and that's stack panel, and it's a layout control. An example of a content control would be a button. A button is a clickable GUI element. I almost said UI element there, but this button can contain a held UI element, whether it be text or an image or whatever, or even a layout control. But this button can contain content of any kind. So that's cool. An example of something that would not be considered a layout or a content control would be a label. Whoops. A label. A label is just text on the screen. It's in a specific font, in a specific color. It's got word wrap, got all that stuff. It's text. And it's just a control. You can't have children in it. You can't layouts with it. It's just text. So that's how that works. There's also buttons, of course, like I showed. There's text entries, there's list box. Next I'm going to work on either check boxes, or I'm going to work on terminal. I'm not sure yet. Or I'll do Windows. I'm not sure. Or I might do images. I'm not sure. But to show how simple it is to add UI to this thing, if we go into About Screen, which is the screen we saw earlier, I have in this initialize method, this is where I set up all my GUI elements. Now let's say I would like to add text box below the About screen. All I need to do, go up here, say var text box equals new text box, text entry. All I need to do there. And I'm going to set the text boxes, the max width of the text box to 384 to match up with the wrap width of the about body. Then I can do about stacker dot children dot add text box zoom out, start debugging, and there we go. Now we have this text box below the about text, and I can enter text in here. This is a text, and of course, your page up, your home, your end, your arrow keys, they all work. Backspace works. Delete works. The only thing that is sort of buggy is if I enter more text than the maximum width can provide. Well, it seems to work. I mean, other than this rendering bug that's supposed to clip this, but I haven't implemented that. It seems to work fine until you start scrolling the text cursor back to the start of UI. Now you'd expect it to gradually scroll over to the right, but it just goes right back to the start, and it's not what I want. So unfortunately that's a bug. But hey, sort of works, and that's text input. buttons are also something that I can add. So let's say I want to add a button right below the list. So I'll do var my button equals new button, and then my button is a content control, so I'm gonna need to add some content. So I can literally just do my button.content equals new label, click me. And then to add it to the UI, all I need to do is when we add list box, I'm gonna go right below it. I'm gonna say list stacker children add my button. I'm gonna warn you. Oh god, I just did that off screen. I'm still getting used to having macro keys, but I'm gonna warn you. It's not gonna look pretty because of the GUI theme, but as you can see, hopefully, there is now a button there. And I know it's not clickable for some reason. I don't know why it's not clickable, but it's not clickable. I can't click it. That's weird. That's a bug. Great. That's wonderful. Really wonderful. Oh god. They're a little buggy, but, one of the issues with this actually is the fact that text isn't exactly centered. Now you can actually fix that by doing my button.content.horizontal alignment, and I'm doing it off screen. There we go. Center, and then my button.content.vertical alignment equals vertical alignment.middle, and then let the game compile, and that already looks way better. Yeah, way better now. Awesome. And now I can click it. What the hell? That's stupid. Anyway. So yeah, I figured out the issue now. Okay. So basically if you click on the label, it doesn't work. Okay. That's going to be a bug I have to fix. But now the text is centered and it works perfectly, and I like it, and yeah, that's basically my little UI system that I'm working on. Hopefully you guys find it kind of interesting. I certainly do. And as for the announcement, the reason I'm making this is, well, I used to be working on Peacenet back when Bitfeeding software existed. I kind of stopped development because I just couldn't think of good gameplay. And I couldn't get the thing to work. But thanks to my friend Adrian and Bits and Bytes, I have figured out a better way to approach Peacenet. And it is to work on a base first. So work on the Peacenet operating system, whatever I decide to call it, and get that working. No gameplay, just the OS and all the features I want to add. And that's what I'm working on right now, is that operating system, or operating environment, as it were. And with that base, it's going to be a demo of the UI system and everything that the game should be capable of. And then once that base is stable, and I have something I can work with, then I can actually add gameplay elements and then make a game out of it. And that's how I'm going to do that. So no longer is the operating system part of the game's concept, it's the game engine. So that's what I'm doing right here. So Peacenet, effectively, is going to be back in development soon, after I get Nucleus as an operating environment done. So, yeah, anyway, that's basically about it. I've been Michael, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.